Great day, everyone. Terry Lee Harrison here with another edition of Let's Talk BRI, bold, real, and impactful. Today, I'm honored to be part of the virtual book tour for Jose Pereira. Jose, welcome.
Thank you, Terry, for having me. Thank you.
It is so my pleasure. I am so excited to introduce you all to Jose, tell you a little bit. I'm going to give him a brief introduction, and we're really here to celebrate the launch of his book. And I love to celebrate authors, but this is truly, when you know what his journey has been, this is truly a celebration as he moves forward to the next portion in his life, sharing this message, helping others to be able to master that idea of resilience in our life, because none of us can imagine some of the things that Jose's been through. So I'll introduce you a bit more formally now. So Jose helps CEOs, business owners, and entrepreneurs to find their unbreakable spirit and solve leadership and management adversities. He's a leadership and resilience coach. He was a hostage for 5 years. For 35 years, he was the CEO of Citgo Petroleum. He's a speaker and an author, and I'm proud to say that he's my friend. So welcome, Jose.
Thank you, Terry. And it's wonderful the way we connected, and well, here we are.
Here we are. Networking and attending events and showing up is powerful. And I always say, Jose, in my life, it's not what I know; it's who I know, all the time.
No, and you know something that I today I really are very aware that when you are vibing in some way, you begin to attract people in your same
Yes.
vibe. So it's wonderful the people that you begin to connect, like
Yes.
you, like you.
No, like you for sure. We're fans, everybody. You can tell. So Jose has a new book. I alluded to the fact of him spending 5 years as a hostage. I think I saw somewhere it was 1,775 days. Is that right?
Yeah, correct. That's
Yeah,
right.
unfathomable for most of us. His new book is titled "From Hero to Villain: His True Story of the Citgo Six." I have asked him to read. I was at a book launch on LinkedIn yesterday, and he read a powerful portion of his book. And would you like to just spend a few minutes, though, telling us a little bit about the story, and then we'll read the chapter?
Yeah, yesterday, by the way, that launching was wonderful. Really, the people that were there, wow, I was so proud because our people, they are, very senior in what they do. They're in the stage. I have people have more than 30, 35 years in the medias, very powerful stories, and then they were there supporting me because they have been part of my journey. One of the things that I discovered when I came back, because as you said, I was a hostage, and when I came back, I didn't know what to do with my life because you come with like in a time machine, and then when they open the door, you're in a new world that you don't recognize. So I was in that process. I went to my healing process with trauma center, etc. And then one day I discovered that I wanted to begin to talk about this because I discovered that connection with the hostage community, and I felt that I needed to begin to help people through that situation I went. And then I began to connect with people. I begin to connect. Most of the people that you saw there in the stage were people that begin to connect with me, say, like I did with you, and they begin to give me advice because I didn't have no clue, nothing about that. I didn't know no clue about social media, nothing. So they begin to give me a lot of advices, and here I am, and I finally wrote my book. So my book has that message that even this my story is factual because it's a story that anybody can google it what we went through, and in my book I go in details because one of the things that my book has is that even that they have been the press wrote a lot about our story. They always talk in the surface. They never went deep in what was the real reason of our political situation. I tell that in my story in my book because for some reason I was in those events, so I knew what was going on. I was caught in the middle of a political situation, but when I understood all the situation, I can put it in my book because now I'm more aware about the situation. And then it comes my new journey because it was for me like a personal growth. Going because maybe your audience doesn't know, but my book is based on those letters that I could smuggle with my wife during almost 3 years. So you can see my book because you're like with me in that dungeon, and you can see the way I begin to evolve. My wife was telling me some days ago, and believe me, my wife was kind of my editor. She really was the who put everything in Word. She was always in top of it. And when I was with a publisher, she was the publisher got mad with her because she was kind of proofreading, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Going back, and she returned like 10 times because like 10 times. So she was like my editor, and she was telling me a few days ago, Jose, the people that read your book, if they don't cry, because even that she was so involved, she said that every time she reads some chapter she cries. Maybe I don't have that feeling because I was the creator of that, so it's part of my life. But yeah, there are some chapters that you can see all that situation in the beginning, and now how you begin to grow through this experience, and that's part of why I put in what I'm going to read is going to be my part of my reflections after all this situation.
It's it your what you went through and how you and the other hostages responded is just um, it is worth the read. It is worth listening to. Um, just such a powerful story. So, are you okay to read that portion now? I would love
Yeah,
that.
sure. And I want to say something because you mentioned my colleagues, and I want to
Mm,
give the recognition
yeah.
that we the six did a great job. I
Yes.
remember in December when we went to the mayor office that he make a proclamation, and today we have our official day here in Houston. The Citgo 6 Day
Yeah.
is December 19. We had the opportunity to meet with all the families, and we begin to talk because one of the things is that six of us have different approach. I have one of my colleagues, he decided to speak to the also. By the way, he was in Oslo
Mm.
last week. He was invited to Oslo, and I'm very proud. And I talked with him. I said, "Hey, Jorge, I'm really proud what you're doing." And he said, "Well, so now we are kind of trying to because both decided to speak about this situation. The other four, for personal reason, decided to be quiet, and that's okay. But when you talk with them, they are all okay. And I told him, man, I'm so proud what we did because it was not only me, was the six of us. So having six guys that went through this situation and the six came in the same way in one piece is remarkable. It's really remarkable. So I wanted to say that.
No, I'm glad you did. They all remarkable human beings, and I'm sure they all have their own story. But we're excited to hear about yours today.
Okay, so let me read a chapter that this is a piece of at the end of the book. This is the chapter 15. It's kind of the one of the two or third last chapters. It's called the reflection of the hero turned into a villain. So I want to say why because people ask me why hero to villain because that's exactly the situation that happened to me. I went to a meeting in Caracas, and 1 minute before I had the standing ovation, applause that I was doing it great. I was a hero, and 1 minute after, I was with handcuffs, accused to be American spy and committed treason. So I went in 1 minute from a hero to a villain. So that's why I put the name. And then I said, this is a reflection of a hero converted in a villain. So I said here I want to convey my experience and I want to be my legacy for you. Today I can understand because having experienced so many events in my life that they were what happened to me. Ultimately, we thank God that we are alive during that great tragedy. On November 19, 2017, when we traveled to Venezuela, the plane could have crashed and we could have died. and everything will finish there. But not. God gave us a second chance. And is that what opened his life pursuing our success? He clings to a burning nail, thinking that that is the only support, and that by having it, one can continue living, exempting oneself from the death. But only when one is close to the death, or you have a great catastrophe, even like the one that happened to me, is that we realize how far the things are, how weak you are in the face of the death. All the people are equally poor and inconsequential in the face of death and a catastrophic event. So you can have all the money of the world, all the power of the world, but when you're in this ordeal, everybody's the same. Money cannot buy life. Any success can be erased like this. They cannot lend life for a single minute, even a second more. Can you imagine Steve Jobs, all what he did, and finally he died? So when you had to go, you had to go. That's it. So that was not my time. That was not my time. Today, I firmly believe that if that had not happened to me, we maybe would have gone straight to the death. I was drinking every day because I could not sleep. And I had extreme stress at that moment. I want to say here that I was the CEO of Citgo, and there was having all this tension between Venezuela and the US. And I couldn't sleep because I saw all that thing coming to me here. So really was a stressful situation. I could have really died. I believe it, that I could have really died. So I was going to have a heart attack. The situation was going to have me to a heart attack. I was having thyroid problems. I I was all the cows created through trigo in Venezuela, and I was having overweight. I was having diabetes. I was having cardiovascular problem. They did me a bypass even. My death really was imminent. But God grabbed me from the neck and extracted me from that chaos. And he put me in that catastrophic event, but he protected me. He protected me because God presses but doesn't hang. So he pressed me, but he didn't hang me. He put me to the test because he knew I could bear it. And he knew that God always put you to the test that he knows you can bear it. We were the forge as a steel and temper as a gold is forged. And he was there where we understood everything. And we praise God for the immense mercy and for having given me this new opportunity. And I continue to journey. I stumble upon a reliable, private, and anonymous resource that months after my return, it revealed to me that 6 months after we were kept, that we were supposed to return, 6 months, there was a kind of arrangement and they were going to deport us. But what happened? The chaos was prolonged because God decided to, we needed to go to the complete ordeal. For some reason, I needed to have my testimony. If I have returned 6 months after, I will not be talking here to you. I would maybe, I don't know, I will be gone to somewhere. I maybe will have become a alcoholic. Maybe I will be dead. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. So, but God gave me a different path. Today is clear to me that God intended to us to undergo the entire process. Had we returned in the mid of 2018, none of this would have been unfolded, and I wouldn't possess my testimony. Today, that's part of my personal growth I experience in returning. That is part of God's master plan that He planned for me. Presently, I remain steadfast in my calling and on the learning curve to serve God according to His will. So, this is a very small piece of my discovery that for some reason God put us in this path. We had to go to that. And some people had told me, are you saying that you're glad that God gave this to you? And I said, no, I'm not glad that this happened to me, but I'm glad of the lessons that I learned after that. So this is for me part of the key lesson of this. That I'm not glad that I went to the situation. I'm glad the lessons I learned. So when you go to any situation in life, it's part of the training that God has for you. Sometimes you don't see it, but when you see the picture years after, you can say, "Hey, I needed to go through this to be where I'm today." So this is part of the message that is in the book.
It is a remarkable story, a remarkable journey, and your attitude about it and about the lessons is just so commendable. So right here in the post, everybody, I have a link for you to go grab Jose's book. I know you can get it on paperback. I know if you like the e-copies, you can get that as well. And also I know Jose is booking out a virtual book tour. So if you are someone that has podcasts, if you're someone that does live streams like this, if you're someone that would love him to come and even that's not virtual, but speak in person, I know that he would love the opportunity to be able to share his message. And so, Jose, I just acknowledge you and I thank you and just tell you how much admire you. And now you're wanting to serve people and build your legacy and have this be a lasting message, the message of your life, really.
Yesterday was the birthday party of my grandson, and we went late because we had yesterday a church service in the night. I'm having Monday a church service that I'm being trained to do some particular church service, and we had to go every Monday night. So I was coming like 9 p.m. to take the cake and have a time with him. And my grandson, he was so glad about my book because when he came back, because he was living in Bogota, and he came back with my son. That he was supporting me from Bogota. So when I was released in October, and my son came back to the U.S. in January. So because he had to, you know, finalize the contract of the apartment, or everything he had in Bogota. So he moved in January back to the U.S. And now my grandson, that was funny because my son during all this year, he never told my story. He was asking for his grandpa, and my son was telling him that I was traveling, I was in business, whatever. But my grandson is not stupid. He began to Google, and he knew was going on, but he never told nothing to his dad. So now when he came back, when I was editing and revising the editing of the book, sometimes he sitting down with me and he was reading it with me. So he began to get involved. And then yesterday he was saying, "Hey, Grandpa, I'm so proud for you." So for me, this is my legacy. Knowing that in the future, my grandson has 12 years. So when he became an adult, he will say, "Hey, this book was written by my grandpa." You know, for me, this is really, I'm proud that this is a legacy that I'm giving for them.
Just amazing. Just amazing. So, Jose, I want to thank you for your valuable time. I bet you have more interviews today, don't you?
Yeah. Mhm.
I
Yeah.
knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah,
I,
I'm going to be continuing tomorrow. I'm going to have a virtual event with a Jewish group of Dallas. They're in Dallas. Uh,
nice.
they are going to do that, and I got contacted because I did this Sunday in the Unity Church here in Houston.
Mhm.
Beautiful church, by the way. I didn't know it. It was a really beautiful church, and the group was wonderful. And that they connected me to another group here in Houston that is called the World Economical Center. So they
Nice.
talk about global politics, and now they're inviting me to. So I'm beginning to go attend to all these events to promote my book. So
Yeah.
it's going to be a wonderful journey.
It's a wonderful journey, and I'm proud to be just a little part of it. So, Jose, thank you to those who have watched us so far. Grab his book, see what you can do to connect Jose to others who need to hear his message. And I just thank you all, and we'll see you next time at Let's Talk BRI. Thanks, Jose.
Bye. Thank you. Thank
Bye.
you
Thank
for having me.
you.